morning, Mr. Smith. It's really a pleasure to have you here today.
And mine too.
Let's start talking a little bit about your personal information. You studied at college, and have you taken any postgraduate course?
Well, I was fortunate enough to have a scholarship for sports, so I got my MBA originally, and then I continued my studies and got my Master in Nutrition. And then after I got my Master in Nutrition, I started working, and at night I went back to law school. So I'm fortunate. I'm a lawyer, a nutritionist, and I have my MBA.
How did you first get into business world, and how did you start a business of your own?
Well, you know, business is something that is in your blood, really. And I always have had an interest in business. And from a very young age, I had small businesses, whether it be polishing shoes or delivering newspapers or selling avocados. I always was interested in making money for myself, so I've always been involved with business. My first company was a messenger service, and I got involved in it because it's a service business, and there's very little capital investment necessary. And I started that right after graduating with my MBA.
And where did the financial sources come from for that?
Originally, as I mentioned to you before, I mortgaged my house, I borrowed some money against my home, I used my credit cards, and beg, borrow, and steal.
What kind of obstacles did you find at the beginning, and which were the hardest problems you had to solve when your company started growing?
Initially, when you start a company, the issues are pretty much involved with cash flow and having a significant amount of capital with which to facilitate the growth of the company without actually taking money from the company. So in the beginning, it's difficult because you have to sustain the company without taking money out of it. So capital issues, cash flow issues are the major concerns in the beginning.
But this wasn't the only business you have built, right?
No.
How many companies have you created so far, and have all of your companies been related one to another?
All of my companies in the beginning were related to transportation, and I was fortunate with the messenger service. It was in the early 70s, before Federal Express, before Express Mail, really before the business was even thought of around America. And I was fortunate enough to get involved in it in the beginning of the industry. And after a period of time, I sold the company to a large company, Purelator Services, a conglomerate, and continued in the transportation business, but in other areas, tow trucks, cranes, and then it ended up in the heavy hauling business, which is transporting very big things and installing them. So it was a gradual progression through the transportation business. And then after transportation, personal services, consulting, business consulting.
What's your opinion about failure in case you make a wrong decision?
Well, from my perspective, failure is not an option, and I never consider it. I never entertain it. I calculate my risks. I do a lot of research, and a lot of thought is involved in making my decisions to take risks, and I never consider failure ever at any time.
How do you see business opportunities? What's the next step after identifying them?
Well, first you identify the need. After identifying the need, you got to figure a better way to do that, a better way to provide that need, a better way to service that need. Develop a good business plan to facilitate your ideas.
What do you think is the most important thing to know or to do when you are going to start a new business?
Think it through. Have a good plan. Be prepared for all contingencies, and remember, after all of that, there are going to be things that you never expected, so you got to be prepared to roll with any situation. Starting a business, 20% of it is things that you never considered that you've got to be prepared for.
Do you want to start another company?
Well, Actually, it's funny that you mentioned that because one of the downsides of being an entrepreneur is it's addictive. And I have sacrificed my family because of business, and I'm a little restless now here in Colombia, and I'm contemplating starting another company. Yes, I am.
What kind of things have you learned from your whole experience? Is there any funny story that you want to share with us?
Well, gosh, we could probably tell you a million funny stories, but I think that the best way to sum it up is business is something that you have to go through it to get to it. And that it's a lifelong process of evolving. And the key to success is being dynamic and innovative and recognizing that all businesses have a life. The successful businesses innovate and constantly look for other sources of revenue. And that's what's so exciting and invigorating about it, because you never stand still, you grow. And again, I would say to anybody that it's part of your psyche, and that if you're interested in it, you need to get out there and start experiencing it. Exciting.
Okay, Mr. Smith, thanks a lot for your time and for helping us with the interview. Congratulations for all the success you've had throughout your life, and we hope you keep it up. And once again, thank you so much.
And thank you. Good luck to all of you. Go get what you want.